Hey, Dragon Slayers. It's been a couple of hours since my last meal, and my blood sugar is 122. So today's video is asking the question, are deli meats healthy? So you probably know that processed meats like salami and bologna aren't health foods, but that supposedly healthy deli meats could be just as bad. So turkey and chicken are often as bad as the other meats that we think of as being unhealthy. Deli meat is the protein star of lunches, snacks, and sandwiches. But because it's processed, it may not be the best thing for your health. In general, deli meats can be convenient, pre cooked sources of protein, says Amber Pankonin. She's an MD and a registered dietitian. However, consuming multiple servings a week might pose a risk for those with high blood pressure, heart disease, or women who are pregnant. Part of the reason why they've been associated with poor health issues is that lunch meats are highly processed. Deli meats are quite processed, containing a lot of sodium and preservatives like nitrates and nitrites. So, nitrates and nitrites are interesting. You have them in your saliva, you have them in celery. I haven't found any studies that prove definitively that there's a risk, but I will go over the article with you guys nonetheless. So, another reason why they're dangerous is because of the way that people eat them. Most people have deli meats with cheese on bread, which adds sodium content, and they often have loads of condiments plus chips and a pickle on the side, which continues to increase the sodium content. Again, it's not the sodium in deli meats that are bad for you. So they have 7 points, and I'll go through these points with you guys one by one. So their point number one says that it may cause fluid retention and increase blood pressure due to the high amounts of sodium. So you can get increased fluid retention by having high sodium or too much sodium. But the link to increased blood pressure is weak. The more sodium that you have, the more water you will retain or fluid you will retain. And it can have a minimal effect on your blood pressure. We're talking a few degrees. But if you have high blood pressure, it's not because you're eating too much salt. That is unfortunately false. And please do your research. Again, I am not a doctor. Do your own research on the matter and come to your own conclusions. But that's the conclusion that I've come to for myself. Um, I have a very high sodium diet, and my blood pressure has never been better. My blood pressure usually hovers around 106 over 180. So their point number two was that it might cause the risk of foodborne illness. I had not heard this one before and I found it interesting. It says that deli meats contain Listeria bacteria due to cross contamination, which can affect pregnant women, older adults, and people with weakened immune systems. Outbreaks of listeria have been linked to deli meats, hot dogs, and soft cheeses. It is recommended to avoid deli meats if you're pregnant or have a weakened immune system, unless you heat them to 105 degrees, or sorry, 165 degrees Fahrenheit before eating. The next 2 points are back to nitrates and nitrites. It says point number three is that it may cause cardiovascular disease. Point number four is that it may cause your risk for rectal cancer. And both of those points are tied to nitrates. I disagree with this because I don't think that it's the nitrates that could cause these things. Um, and then point number five is that it may lead to weight gain due to high fat content. Again, it's not high fat. If you eat too much of anything, you can gain excessive weight. But the fat is not the reason why they're unhealthy. And then it says it may increase your risk of diabetes, again, arguing because of the nitrates and nitrites. And their final point is that it may cause cancer of the thyroid, and this one's very fuzzy and the evidence is truly weak. So I went over this article and the 7 points, and you're probably wondering, well, like, why is it bad? Well, this again is my opinion. The number one reason why, and I think the only reason why, you should consume deli meats in less quantities is because they're highly processed. And anything that is processed will always be worse for your health than anything that is not processed or minimally processed. Chicken that you get from a trustworthy, pasture raised source that you cook yourself will always be healthier than a slice of chicken deli meat from behind the counter. However, High carb and high sugary foods will always be worse for your health than a low to no carb deli meat. So you got to use common sense, eat as close to single whole ingredients as possible, and limit your consumption of anything processed. So that's what I've got for you guys today. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and remember that together you and I will slay the dreaded diabetes dragon.